All right, so today is day 2 of completing the square. So again, our essentially question is, how do I solve quadratic equations by completing the square? And we're going to add a little more too.
Yes. So, summary of solving quadratic equations. Remember, I think we've kind of covered this. There are different methods you can use. Number one, you could use a graphing calculator, but technically we want you to use a graphing calculator to check, not to actually solve it. Right. Factoring, which we've worked on, square roots, which we've worked on, completing the square, which we started on day 1, quadratic formula we will not be covering quite yet, but we will be. Why I want to address this is, no matter which one of these 5 methods you use, you will get the same roots.
Yes.
Or solutions to your equation. Here we go. Here's the steps again for completing the square. And if we go to the next page, I will click there right now. We have, I didn't put the notes over here, but we can, I think they're used to it enough. Did we say we wanted to do this one?
Yes, we want to do the first one.
So the first step, I'll refresh your memory, we need to get the variables on one side and the constants on the other.
All right, so I got to move that 12.
Yes.
All right, so we have x squared minus 8x equals negative 12.
Right. Now remember, Miss
Boyd.
I want to
move it over.
Remember my little thing? We have to do move the equal sign too. Yeah. Because you want to do a plus and a line.
Right. Plus something
equals negative 12 plus something.
Okay.
That something is going to be b over 2 squared. So maybe on a side note, let's write what b is. Or whatever, b over 2 squared. Okay.
So our b is
negative 8.
Negative 8 over 2
squared.
So I have a negative 4 squared.
Yes.
Which is 16.
And notice Miss Boyd put it in parentheses because you will always get a positive value because whenever you square a negative, it's a positive. Now look at the left side. We can factor that. So we should do the 2 parentheses. So now we're kind of giving you a factor lesson at the same time as we're doing completing the square. So
what multiplies together to get 16, but adds together to get a negative 8?
Right. So we write our little factors, or should we just try to do this without writing it down?
We got it. This is easy.
Well, 4 and
4 and 4 times and add.
Right. Because remember, what I said. They're going to be the same number always when you're completing the square like this. And now the right side. Negative 12 plus 16 is 4. Well, how many x minus 4s do we have?
2. So
we're going to write that as x minus 4 squared.
Squared
equals
14.
4.
Thank you.
There we go.
It's been a long day already.
So now we're solving for x, so we need to take the square root of both sides.
Square root. When I do that, I need the plus or minus.
Right. So we get x.
Go away.
Yep. We get x minus 4 equals plus or minus 2. We now have 2 equations.
Yes.
X minus 4 equals 2, and x minus 4 equals negative 2. And we're solved.
All right. Well, we add 4.
Right.
And we get x equals 6. And we add 4. And we get x equals 2.
Right. Should we show that we added 4 to both sides, or do you think they get that?
I think they get it by now, hopefully.
So what are the 2 answers then?
So our answers are x equals 6
and x equals 2. We did it.
Nice job.
What did we just come up with? Let's refresh their memory here. We found the roots, which are also the x-intercepts.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Which are also, what's the last part we're missing?
I don't remember. It's been a long day.
Root. Oh, boy. Okay.
You guys love us. Moving on.
We're now going to rephrase that.
Yeah.
We're not laughing anymore.
Sorry.
We have found the roots, which are also the x-intercepts, which are also the zeros. Remember, they're all equal to each other.
Okay.
Now we can go on to example. Okay, we're going to.
It's kind of being silly.
Yeah. We're not doing that one.
We're gonna skip
Let's go forward. Well, let's go over here because it's not letting us.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy. Now we're kind of switching on you.
Yes.
So recall from lesson 5.1, we learned about the vertex form of a quadratic function. And there it is. So what you're going to do is we're going to complete the square to rewrite any quadratic function that is now in standard form
Okay,
and move it to vertex form.
got it.
So that's what we're going to do. When
So
it
I'm
asks
writing-
you,
Complete the square first.
yep, you have to.
Okay.
So to complete the square, remember, you have to
Move our
put the
stuff over.
constants on one side and the variables on the other.
I'll just quick show it all again. So we got to subtract, or we got to add 12 to both sides.
Right, because the whole thing's really set equal to 0, right?
Right.
So there should be maybe a 0 up there. There we go.
So we have 12 equals x squared plus 16x.
And then we need
Plus something.
and then
Oh boy.
plus
something.
Are we going to get there? Okay.
We got it. We
Yeah.
got it. We'll make it
So remember, what we're adding to each side is b over 2 squared.
work. Okay. So I'm going to write my b is 16.
Yep,
So 16 over 2
squared, which is going to be,
8 squared.
which
which
is
is
64. That's what you're adding to both sides.
Add 64. I'm going to add
64. So on the left side, 64 plus 12 is going to be
76.
Yep, 76. And now let's factor.
Okay.
Okay, you're just rewriting
Yeah,
it.
just
Okay,
rewriting it.
got it.
So multiply together 8 and 8.
Right.
8 plus 8.
Yep,
Eight.
it's easy. So let's write the two
So we have
parentheses.
X
Plus 8
plus 8.
and x plus 8.
X
Remember,
plus
completing the
8.
squares, they have to be the same.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you didn't do it right. Well,
Okay.
how many x plus 8s do we have?
2.
So let's
scroll,
you
thank
bet.
you.
Let's write that now.
All right. So I have x plus 8 squared
Yep.
equals 76.
Now before, what we would do is we'd take the square root of both sides
Right.
and we'd solve for our roots. We're not doing that.
No.
Remember what we said? We're putting it in vertex form.
Yeah, so we got to move this back over.
Right, to get
So I'm gonna
vertex form.
Subtract 76. Subtract 76. So I'm left with 0,
0 equals
x plus 8 squared
Mhm.
minus 76. So
And
if you
guess what?
Notice, here's our h,
Here's
here's
our
our
k.
k.
And technically, if we want to write it right, we're writing a function. We should write f of x
Right.
is equal to, and then we'll rewrite that, x plus 8 minus 76. That's the first part of the problem.
Right.
So let's highlight that
Okay.
because they need to do that. The second part is to find the vertex.
Right.
Well, the vertex is at HK.
Okay.
So guess what? We're going to write it right now. H is equal to
Negative
-8. And K is equal to negative 76. So if we
our
write that
final
as a
answer
point,
is -8, -76.
and we'll highlight that too. And that's exactly, yep.
Nice.
All right, let's see
That's
what we
easy
have
enough.
next going on here.
I think we have another one.
Yeah, should we
let's
try
do
this one?
Yeah.
Okay, now notice, again, write the function in vertex form. Right now it's
Okay.
in standard form. But remember what
So we
Ms.
gotta
Boyd
complete
said?
the square
We have to
first.
complete the square. And remember, one of the first steps on completing the square is you must,
Getting our variables.
well, not even before
Oh,
that.
We gotta check this.
Well, actually, you know what we could do?
Let's do that.
No,
first.
step one is actually, we should follow the steps. You're
Okay.
right. It's to put the x's on one side and the constants on the other. So
Okay.
why don't we do that?
So I have 3x squared minus 18x equals, oh, not equals, sorry. Writing too fast,
Mhm.
plus 6.
Right,
And that all equals,
0.
Zero.
Now let's stop right now, because actually, now, on completing the square,
Mhm.
we need the a value, which is
Oh, yeah,
3,
that's
to be equal to 1.
One.
So what do we have to divide everything by to make that happen?
everything divided by 3.
Right. And if you divide even the left side, you
Oh,
should
yeah,
show
yeah.
that we really are dividing the
Right.
left side too. So now
So
we have
we
x squared minus 6x plus 2.
Plus 2.
Now we're ready.
Okay, now
Now let's get the constants on one side.
Subtract 2,
Mhm.
subtract 2, so
Right.
I get -2 equals.
Remember to leave a plus.
Thank you, I keep forgetting that part when it's on
Okay.
the left. So we're going to add something
Equals x squared minus 6x plus
something.
something. Well,
Something is our
b
b
over 2.
squared.
Mhm.
So our b right now, after we changed it, is a -6.
Exactly.
So we have b over 2,
Right.
which is -6 over 2
Right.
squared,
Right.
which is a -3 squared,
Right. Which is equal to
9.
9.
So I'm going to add the 9 here
Yep.
and here.
Yep. And notice Miss Boyd, she was really smart. Because I was tempted to grab that -18.
No.
So you
No,
have to
no.
grab the b after we divide
Right.
everything by 3. Right.
So I'll just kind of highlight that so we
Mhm.
remember that's where we got our b from.
Good job.
Okay. So then -2 and 9 is 7 equals.
Let's do the 2 sets of
Yeah,
parentheses.
let's just do it right away, huh?
So we need 2 numbers that multiply to 9 and add to -6.
So they have to both be
Has to
negative.
be, and it
and
has to be
it's
3. They
three.
have to be the same. 3 and 3.
Yep. Perfect.
And now how many x minus 3's do we have?
We have 2 of them. So we'll square it.
Right. So now remember, on a typical completing the square problem, we would take the square root of both sides and
Right.
solve. But
But
we're putting it
since
in
we want the
Vertex.
Vertex.
We're going to put it in Vertex form. We have to subtract 7. And
Also,
I should
thank
probably
you.
give you more room. There you go.
Subtract 7. Subtract 7.
Right.
So let's cancel. We're left
Mhm.
with 0 equals
Mm-hmm.
x minus 3 squared minus 7.
Right.
But that's our f of x.
Right.
So x minus 3 squared minus 7.
And
Now
that's
we have
it.
to find our h and our k's.
Mm-hmm.
Here's our h, here's our k.
Right.
So remember h is opposite,
So
so
it's
it's
3.
3.
And k is
negative
-7. And then if we want to write, the vertex, it would be.
3, -7.
So let's highlight what we want
Yep.
them to give us.
So we want this and this.
Yes.
Perfect. Great
Right.
job.
All right, let's see what we have next. I think we're going to move. I think we're going to weigh it and we'll do that in class. And, oh, look at
Right.
that. So it says, write the function in vertex form. You can do that.
Yep, that's
You're
what
going to
it just
use
said.
completing the square.
Perfect.
Notice the 5. You have to divide everything by 5 first. There's your
Yes,
little
get
hint.
rid of it.
Number 2, solve the equation by completing the square.
You could do that.
Again, you follow the steps. These may take you a little bit longer, but take the time and work on them, please.
See
See you
ya.
tomorrow. Bye-bye.